Hi, guys. This is Kim, and I'm here to talk to you today about non scale victories. Of course, I have my little sheets here. I like to do my audio visuals. Non scale victories. What's a non scale victory? Well, I'm going to tell you, but I'm going to have a drink first. And it seems my water bottle kind of matches my dress here. I tend to seem to do that, make my water bottle match my outfit. It's not really intentional, I don't think, but hello. Usually my underwear matches my outfit. It's very intentional. I don't know why I have this obsession of matching my underwear to my outfits. Do any of you guys do that too? I know that when we were young, our mothers always told us, like, you have to wear decent underwear because you never know. There might be an emergency and you might end up in the hospital, or you might end up in an ambulance or something, and you have to have decent underwear. But, I have paramedic friends that tell me, seriously, when something major's going down, they really do not give a crap what your underwear looks like. They've told me. They totally don't notice your underwear. Seriously. They're too busy trying to get you looked after to really care about your underwear. But anyway, enough about that. Icebreaker. Anyway, okay. Non-scale victory. First of all, before we talk about non-scale, let's talk about what the scale does. What is the scale? Well, the scale, this is something I just recently figured out about the scale. Either I read it or somebody told me this. And I mean, we're talking since the last couple of years, this is something that came to my attention about the scale. The scale is simply a device which measures the pull of gravity on your body towards the earth. Yeah. Big freaking deal. That's all the scale does. And yet we put so much merit into the scale, don't we? Yeah, because really, a scale is a device that measures our self-esteem. It shouldn't really measure our self-esteem. Not really. But you know what? Unfortunately, it does. Because we have let society determine the fact that this little number right here makes us either feel like we are a success or a failure. And we tell ourselves that we are a piece of crap if we don't make this number be a certain thing. It really is unfortunate. The problem with getting caught up with scale numbers is that we can get to the point that we will do anything to see those numbers go down. Don't tell me you haven't thought that way before. I think we all have. I know I spent a lot of time in high school and in university being way too obsessed. We have been socialized to punish ourselves when we go off track. We use negative self-talk, and we get scale obsessed. For some of us, it can or has become an eating disorder now or in the past. Break up with your scale if it owns you. What do I mean by owns you? If you are jumping on that thing every freaking day, it owns you. You don't need to weigh yourself every day. There was a long time when there was no scale in my house at all, years, because I was obsessed. And I do have a scale in my house now because I have come to the point where I use it merely as a tool in conjunction with some other things. And I will talk to you about those other things in a few minutes because they are a game changer in my life. And it's part of a non-scale victory measurement tool that I use. But I want to talk to you about some other examples of non-scale victory measuring tools, because you know what? When you are on a fitness journey, you need to measure. If you don't measure, it would be like getting in a car and deciding you're going to go to Saskatoon, and you're just going to get in your car and you're going to drive out the end of your driveway and you're going to drive without a map. You're going to go to the end of your street and say, I think I'll just go left. And then to the end of that street, I wonder which way I'll go now. Eeny, meeny, I'll pick right. And just do that every time you hit a street corner. Are you going to end up in Saskatoon? Probably not. You might even end up in Mississippi because you don't know where you're going to go. You need to have a map. You need to, or GPS, but you also need to figure out the length of time you have for your travel, and you have to figure out the distance you're going to be traveling, and then you have to break up the time and figure out how far you have to go within each distance span. That's what you have to do on your fitness journey too. It's all journey. That's how journeys happen. Okay? So, in order to know whether you've gotten to where you need to get each day on your way to Saskatoon, you measure. Same thing when you're on your fitness journey. You have to have a measurable situation going on. So, how do you do this? Doesn't always have to be a scale. It can be non-scale. So, I'm going to give you a couple of examples of non-scale. One might be if you decide you want to have more energy. And let's take the example of right now, you have to have a nap by 3 o'clock in the afternoon because you're so tired after chasing your kids around and working. Well, you might decide that if you can get through a day without having a nap, that is an accomplishment, and that is a measurement because now you don't have a nap. So that proves that you have more energy. That's a non-scale victory. Another one might be clothing sizes. You may have, for example, in the past worn a size 8, and now you're in a 14, and you decide that, okay, if you increase your fitness program and or your consistency in your fitness program, and you use better nutritional habits, that maybe you can work your way back down into that size 8. Of course, you might go into the other sizes along the way on your journey. So those are measurable. Another thing you might decide you want to do is you may want to take measurements. That's pretty much, use a measuring tape. That's another way. Another thing you might want to do is to measure your physical abilities. Now, one way you can do that is by using the workout sheets that are provided to accompany your workout programs. And those workout sheets, I believe, you can either get them in your Beachbody On Demand. There's a little tab that you can use to print those off. If you don't have Beachbody On Demand, you can still get these workout sheets in your free Team Beachbody account. And I did mark it down so I could tell you. You go on the Get Fit tab in your account. You go under Fitness Tools. You click on Worksheets, and you can print them. And make sure you keep track of your workouts because you will see a progression of your abilities. When you'll see that you can either do more reps, or you can do higher weights as time goes by, or you're able to last longer when it comes to things like I think it's Insanity Max, where you have a timer that you go for longer and things like that. So you will see progress. There's another tool that you can use in your free Beachbody account, and it's called the Fit Test. And how to use the fitness test. First, I'll tell you how to get the fitness test. I have a copy of it right here, which I printed off. And that's also in your free Team Beachbody account. You go to your dashboard, and this is in your free account. So you don't have to have a Team Beachbody Club paid account for this. Everybody has it in their free account. And you go to Progress and Goals on your dashboard, Progress and Goals, and you click on Take the Fitness Test. And I will put a screenshot of what that looks like in the comments below this post. So you'll see what it looks like. And this little test is basically something you take and then you repeat it at the end after you have finished your fitness program. And these are great tests to do. You print a few of them off because you should do them each time you do a round of your program, because you'll see a difference in your stamina, your ability, your energy, and your reps, because there's things on here like push-ups, wall sits, touching your toes, jumping up high on the wall and measuring that. And all you need is a clock with a second hand or stopwatch, dumbbells or a resistance band, a ruler or tape measure, and the friend to help you is optional, but makes it more fun and makes the test easier. It only takes 20 to 30 minutes. Very easy to do, and that includes the warm-up. So really easy, but it's a great tool. So you should think about using this. If you don't already use it, you really should. Okay? So the last example I want to give you of a non-scale victory is body fat percentage. And this is my game changer that I am absolutely obsessed over, because this has been a game changer for me. I used to be scale obsessed, and that meant that I was jumping on that damn freaking thing every day. I swear to God. Oh, my husband only wished I would jump on him as much as I jumped on the scale, let me tell you. I'm sure he wanted to put himself on the bathroom floor and put a number on his forehead. Seriously. Anyway, so here's the problem with jumping on the scale. You'll do what you need to do to see that number go down. That means that all it is about a number going down. So when the number is going down, you don't know if you're losing fat or if you're just losing weight. And I know you're going, losing fat, losing weight, what's the difference? Yeah, there is a difference. Because when you're losing weight, you could be losing muscle mass. So when you think you're losing weight and you think you're doing so great, you might not be doing so great if you're getting rid of beautiful muscle mass. And if you don't think it's a big deal, it is a big deal. Because when you lose muscle mass, you're losing your furnace. Your furnace is your fuel burning tissue. That's what burns fuel. That's what burns your fat away. That's what helps you burn fat. So when you're losing muscle mass, you're losing some of your ability to burn off fat. That's not what you want to lose at all. And that's why people who yo-yo get fatter when they regain their weight, because they are losing muscle mass when they like crash diet. They're losing muscle mass, and when they regain the weight, they're regaining fat instead of muscle. So that's why the more they yo-yo, the harder it is and the worse it is for them. And that's what I used to do. That's what got me into a big problem, and that's what ends up screwing up your metabolism too. absolutely plays crazy havoc with your hormones. So because of that, I changed my way of looking at things and I decided to use body fat percentage. So there's a whole formula of how to do it. But what I want to talk to you about is using a caliper. This is an example of a caliper. We sell calipers at Beachbody. Okay? But I'm going to tell you, because I'm an honest person, I prefer this caliper because this one works better. I didn't tell you that officially. I told you that unofficially. But I like this better because this one is easy to hold, easy to use. Calipers can be awkward. And I'm just going to show you when you set this back to 0, you can hear it when it works. Listen. Did you hear that click? So when you're using it on yourself, you hear because sometimes you can't see it when you're pinching your hip. Because if you're like me and you got the girls in the way, you can't see what you're doing. Well, at least this way, you can hear it. You can hear the click. And that's when you take it away, and then you'll have the number. So, anyway. Yeah. So, I just wanted to show you that. And what happens is once you get your millimeters on the caliper, what you then do is you go to the chart that's in here. It shows you how to do it, everything on here. It gives you all the instructions of what to do. You go to the correct gender. You go to the table and you find the millimeters and you find your gender and the gender tables, but you find your millimeters and your age, and however millimeters and your age, it tells you what your body fat percentage is. Why is this important? I'll tell you why. Because based on your total body weight and your body fat percentage, it tells you how many pounds of body fat you have versus lean body mass. Why is this important? Because you don't want to lose lean mass, you just want to lose fat. So by keeping track of your body fat and your lean mass, you can make sure that you're eating enough protein to keep your lean mass on or to build more lean mass. And that way you will know that even if you have weeks when you're not losing any weight per se, total body weight on your scale, you might still be gaining mass. For example, there were a couple of weeks when I was doing hammer and chisel, and I would show 0. I hadn't lost anything, but I felt better and I looked better. Sometimes you don't even look any different because it's such a small amount you can't really tell yourself. But in the old days, I would be so disappointed at my lack of progress, so to speak. If I didn't show anything on the scale, I'd be so depressed. I'd probably turn around and have a big binge eating session. But because I was keeping track of my body fat percentage, that didn't happen. Do you know why? Because even though I showed 0 on the scale, that I had not lost any weight, nor had I gained, but I hadn't lost any weight, according to my calculations, I had lost 2 pounds of body fat and gained 2 pounds of muscle. So that made me feel pretty good, because I'm going to show you some pictures to give you an idea of the difference. And then I'm going to talk to you about an example too. This is kind of a hazy picture, but this is a person who weighs 60 kilograms. I didn't do the calculations of what that is in pounds, but you multiply 2.2 pounds, that's how much she weighs in pounds. This is her at 60 kilograms, and this is her again at 60 kilograms. Difference, much more toned, much less toned. Same person, just looks a lot different. Okay. Here's another one. 160 pounds. Very obviously the same person. Look at the muscle tone you can see here. Much less muscle tone, less tone. You can see the abs here. Even in the shoulders and the arms, you can see the difference in her. And the reason is, even though she weighs the same, is because when you think about a pound of butter versus a pound of steak, when you hold a pound of butter in your hand versus a pound of steak, a pound of butter takes up this much space and a pound of steak takes up this much space. If you have a pound of butter in your leg or a pound of steak in your leg, how big is your leg going to be? Think of it that way. Here's another example. Very obviously the same person. 155 pounds. Steak, butter. Right? Difference in her legs. Difference in her arms, big difference. Difference in her chest area, look at that. I'm telling you right now, no difference in the scale. If she was only going by the scale to measure her self-esteem or to measure her progress, how would she be feeling? It's all about the body fat percentage. Here's the same girl who weighed 127 here and 136 here. She weighs more. Butter, steak, butter, steak. She's more toned here at a higher weight than she is here. She's flabbier. And she weighs more in this one. I'm telling you, it's about body fat percentage. And when I started measuring my body fat percentage, it was a game changer. So if you guys aren't using a caliper, I highly suggest it's a great way to go. But what I want to see right now is, and I have a little thing here because I wanted to, because you know me with all my little doodads, all my little papers. Where did it go? I had a paper here that I want to see what your non-scale victories are. I want to know what you guys have for non-scale victories. I want you to give me your non-scale victories. I want to know what your favorite non-scale victories are. So, especially since you've been in this group, what are you using for non-scale victories to, here we go. This is what it is.
It's 2 hours.
Favorites. What are you using for non-scale victories to measure? What are you using, or what are you going to use in the future? And has anybody tried the calipers? And if anybody would like to, and you have any questions, talk to your coach or ask me. You can ask me if you like, and I will let you know. Meanwhile, I have a whole bunch of information about how you use the caliper. I have sort of this little thing I wrote up as to how to go about with the little, it's very easy math. Like if I'm a real dumbass when it comes to math, I really despise math. See, I even wrote it on here. I despise math, but I love this because I do. I gave you a really easy example of somebody who weighed 200 pounds. And I just didn't want to bore you with all that right now. So what I'm going to do is I can take pictures of that and post it. But it's really easy to figure out. And it's just a really great way of calculating. But I'd love to hear what your non-scale victories are. So can't wait to find out. I'm so glad you guys did this challenge.